Hello, I'm Hazel Wright and I am half of Menopause and Me with Sally Wotton. And this is a taster video for our fifth Living Well with Menopause talkshop. And this session is all about self-care. So I think at this time of life, at the time of menopause, it's so easy to forget about ourselves. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed by the demands of other things and other people. So work, children, grandchildren, elderly parents. And I think it's true really of women at any age that we tend to put ourselves at the bottom of the pile. But I think sometimes when women are actually trying to deal with menopause as well, we almost go off the bottom of the pile. I always mention what I know all of you will have heard is that when you go in an aeroplane and you listen to the safety presentation, they always mention the fact that if oxygen masks come down from the ceiling, you must put your own oxygen mask on first before helping other people. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because unless you're getting oxygen, unless you're able to breathe, you can't help other people. So think of providing self-care as that oxygen. If you don't provide self-care to yourself, then you are not going to keep fit and well and able to help other people. And as with a lot of things through the menopause, it's all about lifestyle changes and adopting a positive mindset. So what I do in terms of self-care, and this may not work for everybody, but I'm just sharing with you what I do, is at the end of a week, I look at my diary for the next week and I actually pencil out in my diary some self-care sessions. Okay, now these sessions are usually a couple of hours. If I'm quite busy, there may only be 2 of those in the week in my diary. If I'm a bit less busy, then there'll be another 1 or 2. But they're penciled out and I guard those very much. I try really, really hard not to let things come in on the top of that so that I know that those few hours are for me and for me to practice my self-care. So what kind of things can you do in those self-care times? So I've got a list here of things that are either no cost at all or fairly inexpensive. And don't take masses of time either. So I'll just go through that list of suggestions. So the first one is practicing mindfulness. Yeah, it's something I must admit that I find quite difficult to do, but it's focusing on that present moment. You know, what's past is past, what's coming hasn't come yet. So it's all about being present and appreciating that moment in time. There are lots of people out in the community that can help you with mindfulness. Kay Buckby, to mention just one. Yoga, focusing on your breathing. So even just stopping and taking a few really deep breaths. So deep breaths from your abdomen, counting 5 or 6 seconds as you breathe in and counting 5 or 6 seconds as you breathe out. Just doing 3 of those will be enough to just kind of calm you and ground you. Complementary therapies, I think, work really well for women in the menopause. So going and enjoying things like a facial, an aromatherapy massage, an Indian head massage, reflexology, Reiki. There are lots of wonderful treatments out there that really can help. And I think if you feel reasonably good and happy about the way that you look, that will help how you feel inside. So taking some time to go to the hairdressers and to have your nails done are all helpful things. Taking time to relax, practicing some relaxation exercises. We talked about that a bit when we looked at sleep difficulties, and they are really useful to do. Keeping a pre-sleep journal is another suggestion. So at the end of the day, writing out your anxious thoughts, actually getting them down on paper and focusing on things to be grateful for. Now, I'm someone who's kept a diary for a number of years, and I don't particularly write out my anxious thoughts because mine is a very factual diary, just what's happened in the day. However, if I have experienced anxiety in that day, then that will be written out as part of my factual day. But then at the end of my diary entry, I always have a line that says gratitude, and I think about one thing to be thankful for. Some people think of 2, 3 things, or as many as 6. I go for just one, but it does mean that I kind of settle myself to sleep with that very positive thought in my head. Spending time with a friend is invaluable. There is a quote somewhere that says something like, there is nothing that can't be sorted by a cup of coffee and a chat with a friend. And I think that's very true. So talk. Just sitting in the park or the garden, just noticing all the beautiful things around you. Watching a film, reading a book. Reading is supposed to be particularly good for mental well-being, just kind of losing yourself in a completely different scenario. Having a nice, long, leisurely bath, perhaps with candles, rubbing some really nice moisturising lotion on your skin afterwards. Staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water. Sometimes saying no to people and to things without feeling guilty. If you've got hobby or hobbies, then making sure that you still find time for those. And if you don't, perhaps now is a time of life to take up a new hobby. Making sure that you eat healthily, taking in lots of calcium from dairy products or dark leafy greens to keep bones strong. And considering things like supplements and essential oils. Okay, so they're kind of just a few suggestions of things you can do to take care of yourself. And it doesn't matter whether you do lots of them or just one of them. The important thing is that you have that little bit of time for you. And it's not a luxury, it is a necessity. As we said at the beginning, you need to keep yourself fit and well if you're going to be any use at all to anything or anybody else. So next time we will be doing a taster video for the final Living Well with Menopause talk shop. And that's going to be about moving forward. So moving forward through menopause and out the other side. So I look forward very much to seeing you then. In the meantime, thank you very much indeed for listening, and I hope it's been helpful. Bye-bye.